This is Beer in Front, part of the Odd Pods Media Network and the Beer Media Group. Sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet. I'll talk to people around the beer world and get their stories all about beer. That's Beer in Front, and it's coming up now. Welcome to episode 221 of Beer in Front. I'm your host, Dave Zalatoris, and Beer in Front is a proud Odd Pods Media Network member and charter member of the Beer Media Group. It's a quick show this week. Grandpa Beer and his wife Sharron, they were in town over the weekend. We met up at Dovetail and Hop Butcher on Saturday. They were kind enough to bring me some beer from Vegas. I'm going to have one from CraftHaus later in the episode. I'll also have, as the Illinois beer, one from Tangled Roots out of Ottawa, Illinois. I don't know how good my editing is going to be, but if you hear some ruckus in the background like that, it's Air and Water Show weekend here in Chicago, and the Blue Angels are flying right over the luxurious Beer in Front studio. So if you hear the roar, it's not me, it's the Blue Angels. Quick update on my back situation. So last week, I completed my first full week back to work, and it took some getting used to. 40 hours, I'm not used to that in the last 11 months, close to a year. Luckily, they put me at a desk that I didn't have to lift anything. I worked a customer service desk, so that helped where there was a stool where I could stand or sit, but still, my back's not right. So, sorry, the Blue Angels are flying over right now. Stand by. But yeah, it's still not right. So we'll see what happens from there. It just tightens up. Luckily for me, they have a licensed physical therapist at work, so I was able to go a few times this week for some massage, and they iced it down with that. Helped me get through the day. So luckily they're available, during the days that I'm there, Monday through Friday. So it's still not right, but at least I'm back to work, getting a paycheck, and not bothering you fine people to support the show on Patreon, which you still can. I'm not going to argue, but at least I'm back getting a full paycheck, and everything there is cool. This Air and Water Show, it's a mess. Everybody loves the Air and Water Show in Chicago, except for Moira Rose, the dog. She jumps out of her skin. The poor little girl is scared. She's sitting, as I'm recording this, underneath my desk and my feet. Ruby sent me pictures during the practice on Thursday and Friday where the poor girl was underneath an end table. And yeah, Moira's not a fan of the Blue Angels and Thunderbirds. So that's over with today. I'm recording this on Sunday, August 11th. Today's the final day of it, thankfully. But that was a mess. Also, I mentioned I work customer service at O'Hare. Well, on Friday during the practice, if you've ever flown into O'Hare, one of the landing areas, you come over Lake Michigan from the east and you just go straight across the city and land. Well, that's all taken away during the Air and Water Show, so you really could only land and take off from the west. So that creates air traffic control problems. I work the customer service desk and have to explain to people why they're late or miss their flight because of the Air and Water Show. People were not happy, and rightfully so. So Moira Rose and travelers were not happy that the Air and Water Show is here over the weekend. In beer and beverage news, World of Beer is filed for Chapter 11. They cite distress in the restaurant industry as a whole. They have 34 locations around the country currently, some of which are franchisees, but at one point World of Beer had 71 locations. This is cool. Molson, they signed parents of some Canadian Olympic athletes to an endorsement deal where they get money and free Molson beer. If you live in the UK, Aldi is hiring an official beer taster where you will get to try free beer and review them for upcoming Aldi beer releases. So if you're a UK listener, check out Aldi's website. Left Hand is updating the cans of their iconic milk stout. I love this design. I've talked before about some designs that didn't go well, but this one is beautiful, really stands out. This is great artwork on the new milk stout from Left Hand. For the upcoming Democratic National Convention here in Chicago, Alter Brewing and Sketchbook Brewing, they're collaborating with Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker on J-Beer. Alters is a Mexican-style lager, and Sketchbooks, it's going to be a West Coast-style IPA. Both are going to be served at Democratic National Committee-hosted events at the convention. So if you're going for the DNC, check out J-Beer. Finally, I talked before earlier in the summer about the cicadas, and I didn't get to see any here, but Noon Whistle Suburban Brewery, they were serving up and they publicized Malort that was infused with dead cicadas. Well, the state of Illinois gave them some fines because I guess that didn't pass health standards. I mean, Malort would kill any infection, but so if you had cicada Malort over at Noon Whistle, consider yourself lucky because they got fined for it.
Hey, you there. We've got a question for you. Are you tired of clickbait stories and the loudest voices driving discussions in culture and entertainment?
If so, I'm Dylan.
I'm Kendall.
And I'm Corey.
And we host the podcast From the Middle. We're middle-class guys living in the middle of America, in the middle chapters of our lives with points of view somewhere in the middle.
We take a more reasonable and centrist approach in our discussions covering genres like comedy, culture, entertainment, and interviews, with really interesting folks like business owners, comic creators, doctors, news anchors, New York Times best-selling illustrators, professional stand-up comics, and more. We really value a relaxed and conversational podcast, one that we hope is so fun and laid back, you'll forget you're not actually hanging out with us.
So search at From the Mid Pod, just like it sounds, or check us out everywhere you can find podcasts.
When you're done listening to this show, head over to From the Middle and check them out. Always a great show. All right, the beer that's in front of me now is from CraftHaus Brewery in Las Vegas. This is their House Fest. This is a fest beer on Spanish cedar. So I'm looking forward to cracking this open. Once again, thank you to Grandpa Beer and his wife Sharron. When they came in over the weekend, they gave me some beers and ciders from the Vegas area, but I'm looking forward to this. I've had CraftHaus before. I think Bill brought that over one of the times he was here, maybe a year or so ago, and I love Oktoberfest beers. I love anything with Spanish cedar, so this sounds really appealing to me. So let's crack open the House Fest. Beautiful color here. Lovely color. I like this. It's got a nice amber color to it. Good foam. Smells really nice. This is the first Oktoberfest I've had of the season. I know it's coming out so early now. Some of them are out in July. But yeah, I kind of want to wait a little bit because it's still warm out. So this is the first Oktoberfest that I've had of the year. There's a blue angel flying over me right now, but it smells really good. Oh, yeah. That's nice. You get the wonderful malts, and then that cedar adds a beautiful touch to this. I mean, most barrel-aged beers are done in oak from bourbon barrels, but this cedar gives it a really nice finish. That's outstanding. That's one of the best Oktoberfests I had. Little bitterness there at the back, which I wasn't expecting, but it blends well with the sweetness of the malt and the cedar. This is an excellent beer. Trying to look on the can if it has an ABV on this. I don't see one on the can, but they use 100% German malts here. This is just an excellent beer. Beautiful artwork on the can. Yeah, that's an absolute winner. I love this one. So thank you to Bill and Sharron for bringing this. If you're in the Las Vegas area or wherever CraftHaus distributes, I would definitely put this one in the cart. This is excellent. So if you're a fan of Oktoberfest beers, you have to pick up Hausfest from CraftHaus in Las Vegas. CraftHaus has been around since 2014. Wide selection of different beers. I'm on their website now trying to remember what was the other one that I had from them. And I don't remember if it was Bill and Sharron who brought it over or my friend Ray when he lived in Vegas. But I know I've had something else from CraftHaus before and I've enjoyed it. It looks like on their website, a huge variety of stuff. They have a partnership with UNLV for Rebel Spirit Golden Ale. I know the one I've had before has been great. I just mentioned they have like a wide variety. They have sours, they have IPAs, cold IPAs. So if you're looking for a good beer and you're in the Vegas area, I would definitely hit up CraftHaus because I'm telling you right now, this Oktoberfest is one of the best I've ever had. So put it in the cart. Next up in my Drink Illinois beer series, I'm going to have one from Tangled Roots. Ruby was out there in Ottawa a couple weeks ago, and she stopped and picked this up. I've been there before. We went 6-7 years ago. I didn't know they had other locations. They have a location now in Lockport, Vernon Hills, and Glenview. So Tangled Roots is all around the state of Illinois. Their beers are really good. She asked, what should I get you? I mean, there's a lot there, but they have this series called Farm to Foam, and I guess they have hops and barley that's grown real close to their brewery in Ottawa. So they use some of the hops and barley from their own farm to the beer, which I thought was cool. So this is Kit Kupfer. This is an amber ale, 4.9%. Lovely artwork. The artwork is great. Has this fox with nice copper color. And I will say, Tangled Roots has one of the best logos in the state of Illinois. Like Second City Meadery, I love Maplewood, and Tangled Roots is like right there. So great logo, great looking can. I like the idea behind this, the whole Farm to Foam series. So let's bust open this Kit Kupfer. Really nice amber color here. Good foam. Yeah, the malt, really good malt aroma here. Smells really nice. Oh, that's good. Yeah, good sweetness, a little bitterness, not a lot. Doesn't list the IBUs on here, but I think it's really good. You get the nice caramel malt taste to it. Maybe a little hops at the end. Like I'm trying to think like little fruitiness towards the back end of this, like maybe a stone fruit. I could be wrong, but no, I think it's really good. Yeah, no, I'm digging this. They also have in this series a pale ale, an IPA, a wit, a golden, a stout. So if you're around any of their locations, I definitely recommend picking up something from the Farm to Foam series. But this amber is really good. Yeah, I like that. So if you see it, if you're around, put it in the cart. If you're in any of their locations, I would definitely stop by. I know Ruby went there for dinner and said the dinner was really good too. So Thanks, Ruby, for hooking me up with a 4-pack. And thank you, Tangled Roots, for making a really good beer. Put it in the cart when you see it. All right, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Beer in Front. I thank you very much for listening. Once again, I want to thank Bill and Sharron for coming over to visit and dropping off some great beers from Las Vegas. If you want to get a hold of me, you could email me, dave@beerinfront.com, or you could find me on all the social media channels @beerinfront. Have a great week, everyone, and remember, sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet.